Let's chat about, as a medicine person, um, what our work looks like sometimes. We have the modality trainings, we great at our craft, we know our work, but for a good portion of it, when we're in sessions and we're actually doing our work, we're not consciously working. Okay, and this is going to sound a little bit odd. Practitioners that are called to the path and have natural gifts, you'll probably get what I'm talking about. But if you're not like us and you haven't had these experiences, what I'm saying might sound a little bit strange. Now, this is definitely something that comes with being a naturally gifted medicine person, is that a good portion of the work that we do, it's pure intuition. It's pure just download, where I've been in sessions with clients back when I did energy healing and I worked with crystals. I mean, I know my crystals, and my crystals pretty damn well. I made sure I educated myself, like what works with what should go with where, how do I grid on chakra alignments and all the good things. But when I'm in sessions with a client, I'm not thinking about that stuff. I'm just going on. I need to pick up the citrine and I need to put the citrine there. I need to put my quartz over there. My amethyst must go here. I need to bring the smudge bundle over here. There's a lot of negativity in this part and I need to pull it all out. When I set up my altar spaces sit up behind me here. I don't think about it beforehand. Everything comes off. I shift my altar spaces around a couple of times a year. Everything comes off. Everything gets cleaned and wiped down. And I don't think about the things as I'm putting them back. This has to go here, this has to go there. The same with when I'm doing rituals or different ceremonies for myself, or doing work with the ancestors and the guides, or doing things on the collective level. I don't think about what I'm doing. I'm just doing. I don't think about, like, oh, should I put some hibiscus flower, or should I put some sage in this, or should I work with some frankincense? I don't think about the things beforehand. I'm just there and I'm like, okay, cool, this must go in and this must go in, it needs to be this much. Honestly, I do it when I'm cooking. Like, that's how I cook my food a lot of the time, where I'm like, okay, it's like 10 10 10 10, okay, cool, that's enough. But a bit more of this, okay, that's enough. We work very intuitively with the stuff. And as practitioners, for us that are naturally gifted and we have those connections and we work intuitively, it can leave us sometimes questioning, did I put in the right amount? Did I use the right herbs? Did I put the right crystals? Am I doing the session correctly? I'm like, oh my god, is the citrine supposed to go there? Am I supposed to put the amethyst there? Because it's coming through as downloads, it's coming through as connection from ancestors or guides or spirit, whoever's working with us in our sessions. The information's coming through from them. A lot of the times I've put things into my offering bowl and I have no idea why it's in there. I have no idea why I'm putting the things in my offering bowl that I'm putting in. But I may draw a oracle card a couple of days later and it's the exact herb that I put in my offering bowl earlier that week, and it explains, oh, this is what it's for. So sometimes we don't know in the moment, and later on down the line it is presented to us, this is why you needed to do what you needed to do. But for this, it leaves building trust within ourselves and our capabilities, trust with the guides and the ancestors and those that we're working with. It can be a little bit, hard to build trust because there's nothing like concrete. I've said it before in numerous episodes. We don't come with a manual. It would be fabulous if what we did came with a manual. Like, if the universe could have a university for us to attend, and here's your course in crystals, and here's your course in herbs, and sure, we can go and study these things, but when we're in session, theory goes out the window and it all becomes practical and experience, and being there in the session, and listening, in a way, listening and feeling and just knowing and trusting that knowing. So for a lot of us, I mean, I've got to the end of sessions and clients were like, oh, what was that crystal that you put at my feet? It felt really great. And I'd be like, oh, it was this. And they'd be like, oh, what was it for? I couldn't tell you. I don't know, man. I just knew it was the right thing to do. And they'll be like, well, it felt amazing. It like gave me what I needed. Okay, well, that was what it was for. So as medicine people, like we don't always know why it is that we're doing what we're doing. And as bizarre as that sounds, it's definitely a part of the work that we do. For me, as much as I've been studying spirituality and modalities and practices and different lines and things since I was 14, when I'm in session, as I say, theory goes out the window and it becomes about in the moment, like what is needed, what do I need to be doing right now, and kind of trusting that process in the moment. So we can be hugely qualified, we can have all the certifications and read all the books, but for a good part of it, when we're actually in practice, when we're actually in session, when we're doing the work, we're setting up our altar spaces, we're cooking our meals, the different things the stuff comes into, we don't think about the theory. We don't think about what is this crystal going to do for this person, and should I put oregano instead of parsley in my pot? We don't think about those things. There isn't a lot of conscious thought that comes into sessions. Conscious thought for us really comes in more when we're translating what's coming through as a download, or at the end of a session where you're consciously translating what happened in the session, what we picked up. That's where the conscious stuff comes in. For the rest of it, it's all on the intuitive level. It's all on that spiritual plane that we're working, and what comes with that is we don't necessarily remember everything that goes on in sessions. Yes, I have read for hundreds of people over the years, and people will come to me and they'll say, oh, I had a reading with you like last week or last month or last year or whenever. And remember when you said this, that, and that, and that, and that, and I'd be like, no. I don't actually remember saying that to you. Like, I don't remember what happened in that session. I'm sorry. And it's because for a lot of it, we're working so intuitively and on that subconscious level. We're not coming from the conscious space. And also, I believe that, if I had to hold on to every reading that I've done for every person, like around the world that I've read for, if I like held on to like every part of information, like what came through in that session, I think my brain would probably explode. Like that is a lot of information to hold on to. So if you're not a medicine person and you do work with a practitioner, and you go to them and you're like, oh, do you remember what you said to me in the session? And they're like, oh, no, I don't. Like, don't be upset with them. Like, don't be mad. Realize that we work with a lot of people. We do work very intuitively. We do work very subconsciously. And that we're not, filing the stuff away for, future reference. Depending on the work that we do, obviously now that I'm mentoring and I'm coaching, I absolutely have session notes, because I need to refer back to those session notes so the clients can come back to me again. And I do recommend keeping some kind of session notes for if you do have repeat clients, because maintaining that information from your sessions, like that is information overload. Our brains would implode with all of our client information. If we held on to every reading and every download that we got, like golly, that is a very full filing system. So if you do feel the need to remember what happened in a session, make your notes post-session, straight after, get it down, and then file it away. But know that we don't store all that information. Like it's not possible for us to do that as medicine people. We work with too many people to be able to. That's not a gift or a skill that we have, and it's okay for us to be like that. So yeah, working as a naturally gifted medicine person, because of the realms that we work in, we essentially we're straddling two worlds. We're stepped into the spirit world and we're here in the physical world, so that we can work between the two of them. And like subconscious work is predominantly what's going on in sessions. And as a medicine person, to get comfortable with that. Perhaps you've never actually heard someone have this conversation before. Maybe this is your experience and you're thinking, maybe you're doing something wrong, or maybe you're not aware enough in your sessions, you're not present enough in your sessions, you are fully present in your sessions, you're not doing anything incorrectly, you're just standing between worlds and you're working and you're transferring and you're doing what needs to be done without being like, where should I put the citrine? Or should I work with this herb today? Or maybe I need to just do this over here. You're in there and you're doing the work that you need to do. And that also helps us avoid disconnect between us and our intuitive psychic abilities. We're connecting and we're tapping in and we're doing our work. We're not like, should I be doing this and should I be doing that? We're not questioning all the things. So this is one of the slightly weirder parts, I guess, of being a medicine person. It's to hear a practitioner say, I don't actually think about half of the stuff that I'm doing in sessions when, if I'm doing healings or readings or any kind of intuitive downloads or psychic or mediumship work. When I'm connecting to people's ancestors or connecting to the other side on a medium capacity, I'm not thinking about what's coming through. I'm allowing everything to come through and it's just filtering. I'm just putting it out there as it's coming through. I'm not thinking, I'm not processing, it's just coming through me. And I know a lot of mediums work that way. I know a lot of us that are channeling messages from source, from spirit, from ancestors. Like, that is what's happening. It's just in and out, in and out, in and out. There's no like in and let me think about this and then putting it out. Okay. Because I think we would lose a lot of the weight to what's being passed on. I think we would stop and question too many times. We would be like, oh, am I, is that really a download? Should I really be sharing that? We have to let things just flow within our sessions. So yeah, it's definitely the more odd part of being a medicine person is we work subconsciously, we work intuitively. There's no conscious thinking about what it is that we're doing. We're just in session and we're doing what we're doing. And most of my formal training, if you will, has been on the job in sessions with clients. When I started offering energy healing and bringing in the crystal aspect, as much as I studied and I trained and I did all the theory and I had all the books on the crystals, in sessions, the ancestors and the guides were like, this is how this works and this is where this goes and you need these for this and this works for that. So a lot of my training came while doing the work that I do. And for a number of practitioners, I know that that's the case for them as well. So, when you're sitting with a practitioner and you're like, well, what qualifications, and they got all their certificates up on the wall, those certificates count for maybe 10% of the knowledge and training that they actually have. A lot of the training comes from up there. Okay, which is also a little bit weird because it's not, again, there's no manuals, there's no course workbooks, and there's no one in the session with you physically standing there being like, okay, you're gonna put your citrine over there and you're gonna put your amethyst over there. You're just tuned in and connected and trusting everything that's coming through.